folks. Welcome. This is the American Liberty Radio Network. This is Wayne S. Pierce, your host for this podcast for the 19th of June, 2017. How are you? Are you good? Because, hey, it's Monday, and in some parts of the world, it's Tuesday. So you guys have a great day. If you're listening to this at night, in the afternoon, at some point in your day, thank you. I appreciate that very much. Your support of American Liberty Radio Network and independent media is very crucial at this time in history. All right? A little bit of coffee for me. I don't have a donut, so, So anyway, a little something I want to share with you. I think I have a tech issue resolved. So, hopefully, things will be looking up for American Liberty Radio Network. Lots of changes happening. Within the next month or so, I'll let you know what those are around the network. And who knows, I may resurrect an old name for the network. Who knows? I don't know. Yeah, I got some things floating around in my cranium. I'm going to be thinking about a few things. So, but I want you to let me know, how am I doing as a host? You see, American Liberty Radio Network is just that. It's American. It's about liberty. It's on internet radio. And it's a network. Duh. Okay. So, I know I'm being jovial this morning because a lot of things are going on, and I just have to laugh at every single absurd thing that I'm seeing, such as, people getting on stage and getting in the middle of a play and shouting and protesting and doing all that. Yeah, the Shakespeare in the Park thing with Julius Caesar looking like Donald Trump. Well, it's and if you had ever read Julius Caesar, if you ever read the play, it's not about assassination, okay? I'm just saying, okay? When you read it, you understand it, that it's not about, going out and assassinating him. It's no. It's about taking out dictators. It's about changing the way government is and somebody getting pissed off enough to round up a whole lot of people and go do the job. And let me identify who that is in 2017. That is the Democratic Socialists on the far left. They want to completely destroy the United States of America, and they want to undermine the Republic. That is their goal. Oh, and the Republican fascists are kind of standing on the sidelines waiting for their breadcrumbs after the destruction of the United States. So all you conservatives out there, and with all due respect to Mr. Rush Limbaugh, I will say that if the conservatives don't stand up and be heard, and you continually allow the constant engagement of violence from the left, you're not going to have a country, let alone a conservative party called the Republican Party. You're not. It's going to be gone. It's going to be completely eradicated. Consider this also in history, that both parties came together and kind of compromised on a few things and kind of handed the baton off to others, you know what I mean, right? So as of 2017, we only have one party in America, and that's the Progressive Party, with the social justice warriors being supported by the Democratic Socialist and Marxist on that side, and the conservative, people on the Republican fascist side, so you've got that, but let me remind you that it's a progressive party being funded by corporations. So there you go. With all due respect to Mr. Rush Limbaugh. The centerpiece of the violence is none other than President Donald J. Trump. The reasoning behind all the violence from the far left is that they want again to destroy the United States of America, the republic in which we stand, one nation under God, individual, with liberty and justice for all. They want to completely destroy that. And if you look at the very nature of of both the Republican and Democratic parties, you look at the very core of their beliefs. It's not about giving us, or I should say protecting us and our God-given rights. It's not about that. It's about a complete and utter control and enslavement of the populace to do their bidding. Again, that's my perspective. But let's get on, because I have a lot to say, and I've mentioned it before, the Shakespeare in the Park with the thing, about all that. So let me go here. The nature of the people in the Republican Party and in the Democratic Party, the nature they have. Who are they and what drives them? Who are they and what drives them? You need to look at that. You need to really focus your attention on the reasoning why they do what they do. Steve Watson, Infowars.com, 19th of June, 2017. More protesters disrupt Trump assassination play, yell CNN is ISIS, liberal hate kills. That's what somebody jumped on. There was video here in the article. More protesters disrupted the Central Park Public Theater production of Julius Caesar Sunday night, taking umbrage with the depiction of the bloody murder of the President of the United States. Video of the separate incidents reveals that the protesters were yelling, Goebbels would be proud. He was the basic architect of the killing of the Jews in the Nazi death camps. Liberal hate kills, and CNN is ISIS, before being dragged off away by security. Dragged off, does that say? Yeah, being dragged off or dragged away by security. I need more coffee. I can't read. According to reports, during the second stage invasion, the man filming the incident was attacked by others in the crowd. Security was called in and also dragged the videographer out of the theater. It has been claimed that police told the man, "Dude, we're on your side, but just keep it down." The CNN is ISIS term was popularized by Infowars' Alex Jones and is currently part of a contest devised to stand up to the left's call for violence against the president and against other Americans for simply exercising their rights. The second round of protests came on the heels of interjections on Friday when conservative activists Laura Loomer and Jack Posobiec interrupted proceedings. While some advertisers have cut their ties with the production, CNN and the New York Times have refused to do so. Well, there you go. The show, which featured a Donald Trump look-alike being stabbed to death by senators, much to the delight of the mostly liberal audience, concluded its run Sunday after continuing to be staged despite the shooting of Steve Scalise and the attempted murder of Republican representatives at a baseball game last week. So, there you go. That's going up on American Liberty Radio podcast. It's got videos there. That's something you may want to take a look at. I find it incredibly odd. I find a lot of things incredibly odd. Especially how people cannot understand what the hell is going on in this country and who is perpetrating the violence in this country. Okay? I find it odd that you cannot, or actually will not, accept the fact that we are in a divided country. And the division is being perpetrated by the left, the Democratic Socialists, the political arm of the elites on both sides of the aisle. The Republican fascists and the Democratic Socialists are all part of a progressive party owned, run, and funded by the elites. Now, regardless of whether or not you want to believe that, regardless of whether or not you want to accept that, as I like to say, just because you close your eyes doesn't mean the bad things are going to go away. Just because you say it's a conspiracy theory and that you're talking, just because you complain about myself, Alex Jones, Rush Limbaugh, Michael Stavage, Brian Lang, Nick Tucker, just because you are complaining about us doesn't mean that all of that is non-existent and going to go away. You need to take matters into your own hands in this regard. Accept the reality you live in. Don't try to manufacture things in your life to try to alleviate the problems in your life. You got enough of that. Now, when I say that, I'm talking on a personal level. People hear, me say, don't manufacture things, no. People do it every day. Here's how they do it. They shut their curtains. They shut their doors. They turn the TV up. They have a barbecue. They don't care. I don't give a crap what's going on out there as long as it doesn't affect me. It will, dumbass. It's going to affect you. Talk to the people in Venezuela. Talk to the people in third world countries that can barely eat every day. Oh, and let's bring it home. Talk to people in California who has a governor who's a dictator. Oh, yeah. Governor Brown's been slapped by the federal government and may not get funding for projects in California. Okay? Let me do this. Governor Brown, if I can spell Brown. Governor Brown, let's see, funding state. I'm just going to put that in the thing. Jerry Brown unveils revised state budget proposal. Jerry Brown funds student illegals, cuts middle class. This is from the Daily Caller. Governor Brown's budget proposal includes an extra $15 million for what? To help Californians facing deportation. In other words, he's an open border jackass is what he is. His father wasn't any better, as my mother used to tell me. And here's the hypocrisy. Here's the hypocrisy in California from Governor Brown. As soon as the page comes up from theblaze.com. Supporters of President Donald Trump are mocking the governor of California for requesting aid from the Trump administration just weeks after bashing the president and his policies. The Associated Press reported that Democratic Governor Jerry Brown requested federal disaster assistance after strong rains threatened to cause a flooding following a dam spillway failure. This was written by Carlos Garcia, the 16th of February, 2017. It's after the spillway, the massive water broke the spillway. So that's that. But there's a lot more going on. And a lot more that people have to see. And here's the hypocrisy on the left. More hypocrisy, more violence called for from the left, more lies from the left. Media celebrates Megyn Kelly's dishonest hit piece on Alex Jones. InfoWars set to release full tape that will demolish MSM lies. The mainstream media is celebrating Megyn Kelly's hit piece on Alex Jones despite them previously decrying her for giving Jones a platform and despite Kelly being exposed as a liar days before the interview aired. The NBC host's dishonesty was laid bare last week when InfoWars released a tape of her promising the interview would not be a hit piece. Quote, "If there's one thing about me," this is what Megyn Kelly says, that she told Alex Jones, quote, "If there's one thing about me that it's that I do what I say I'm going to do and I don't double cross. It's not going to be some gotcha hit piece. I promise you that," unquote. She lied. When you put negative stuff out there, yeah, you get your 15 minutes of fame. But when you put outright lies out there, yeah, you better be looking for another job. Okay? When you are dishonest in media, you get the cushy jobs. When you're deceitful and you go behind, and you manipulate the situation to get what you want, yeah, you'll get the cushy jobs. But when you lie and people find out you lied, yeah, you should be looking for a new job. I mean, that's just, I mean, that's it, ISIS supporters call for retaliatory strikes against London mosque attack, London descending into terrorist anarchy. Anybody taking a vacation to London, you better cancel your plans. U.S.-led coalition downing of Syria playing, quote, act of aggression, unquote, and, quote, support for terrorists, unquote. Moscow views the U.S.-led coalition's attack on the Syrian government military jet as an act of aggression. I'm going to put those two on the American Liberty Radio Podcast Facebook page. There's a lot that we have to understand, folks. In this world, I know this is a cliche you've probably heard many times in various ways, but we ain't getting out of this world alive. You know what I'm saying? You've heard that before. We ain't getting out of this world alive. And here's something that you need to remember, that while we're here and we're still walking on the planet, we need to understand how to survive. Some people would say, well, what's the point? We're going to, what's the point? How about today? Think about today. How can you take care of your family? How can you take care of yourself? How can you take care of your coworkers? If you like them, how can you? Because today is how we work. Today is what we need to do, and we can plan, we can negotiate, we can, compromise. We can do everything we need to do today. What's tomorrow going to bring? I don't know. When we wake up tomorrow, put our feet on the floor, be grateful that we woke up, and go about our day. No real big plans. No huge decisions to make. But I can almost, and I say this because I've been there, it's almost as if you're wiping the slate clean every morning. Okay? So when you wake up every morning, you wipe the slate clean, you look out the window, you look at the weather, you drink your coffee, you eat your donut, whatever you're doing, and you smile and say, thank you. I woke up today. And that's pretty much what you do. You wipe the slate clean, you go ahead and take care of business as much as you possibly can. Michael Snyder over at endoftheamericandream.com End of the AmericanDream.com, Michael Snyder, 19th June 2017. There have been 296 earthquakes in the vicinity of the Yellowstone supervolcano within the last 7 days. Since Yellowstone is still very active, scientists assure us that it will erupt again one day. Is it possible that the Yellowstone supervolcano is gearing up for a major eruption? If you, and Michael Snyder even said this, if you follow my work on a regular basis, then you already know that I spend a lot of time documenting how the crust of our planet is becoming increasingly unstable. Most of this shaking is taking place far away from the continental United States, and so most Americans are not too concerned about it. But we should be concerned about it because a major seismic event could change all of our lives in a single instant. For instance, a full-blown eruption of the Yellowstone supervolcano would have the potential of being an ELE, which is an extinction-level event. And that is why it is so alarming that there have been 296 earthquakes in the vicinity of Yellowstone supervolcano within the last 7 days. Scientists are trying to convince us that everything is going to be okay, but there are others that are not so sure. The biggest earthquake in this swarm occurred last Thursday evening. It was initially measured to be a magnitude of 4.5, but it was later downgraded to 4.4. It was the biggest quake in the region since the magnitude 4.8 earthquake struck close to the Norris Geyser Basin in March in 2014. The magnitude 4.4 earthquake was so powerful that people felt it as far away as Bozeman, Montana. But by itself, that one quake would only be a minor concern. What is troubling many of the experts is that this earthquake has been accompanied by 295 smaller ones. There is normally a rise in seismic activity before the volcano erupts, and according to theoretical physicist Michio Kaku, a long overdue eruption at Yellowstone could rip the guts out of the USA. Michael Snyder goes on to say, I would like to try to describe to you what a full-blown eruption of the Yellowstone supervolcano would mean to this country. He goes on to say, hundreds of cubic miles of ash, rock, and lava would be blasted into the atmosphere, and this would likely plunge much of the northern hemisphere into several days of complete darkness. Virtually everything within 100 miles of Yellowstone would be immediately killed, but a much more cruel fate would befall those that live in major cities outside of the immediate blast zone, such as Salt Lake City and Denver. Hot volcanic ash, rock, and dust would rain down on these cities literally for weeks. In the end, it would be extremely difficult for anyone living in those communities to survive. In fact, it has been estimated, it's a guess, that about 90% of all people living within 600 miles of Yellowstone would be killed. Experts project, again, they're guessing here, folks, because that's what it literally means. When you see the words experts project, what they're doing is they're guessing because of all of the numbers that they crunch every day. Experts project, as Michael Snyder writes, that such an eruption would dump a layer of volcanic ash that is at least 10 feet deep up to 1,000 miles away, and approximately two-thirds of the United States would suddenly become uninhabitable. The volcanic ash would severely contaminate most of our water supplies, and growing food in the middle of the country would become next to impossible. In other words, it would be the end of our country as we know it today. The rest of the planet, and this would especially be true for the northern hemisphere, would experience what is known as a nuclear winter. An extreme period of global cooling, quote-unquote global cooling, would take place. The temperatures around the world would fall by up to 20 degrees. Crops would fall or fail all over the planet, and severe famine would sweep the globe. In the end, billions could die. So yes, this is a threat that we should take very seriously. But today, Michael Snyder goes on to write, but today, most Americans think of Yellowstone as a little more than a fun tourist attraction. But the truth is that many tourists have discovered just how dangerous Yellowstone can be. Some have been scalded by boiling water from geysers that can get as hot as 250 degrees Fahrenheit. And one man from North Carolina recently had to be flown to a burn center after he mistakenly fell into a hot spring. And a couple of weeks ago, or about a month or so ago, somebody fell in and was totally disintegrated. Totally gone. That's how hot it is. Since Yellowstone, Michael Snyder says, is still very active, scientists assure us that it will erupt again one day. And when it happens, all of our lives will be completely turned upside down in a single moment. Now, scientists are guessing. I'm going to put that on American Liberty Radio podcast. Scientists are guessing, but I think their educated guesses are pretty accurate because it's been well over, what'd they say, almost 100,000 years or something since it blew up, or 10,000 years or something like that. I don't remember. I got to go back and look at the information I have. But it's been a while since it exploded. And I think it's going to be a little while, probably not in our lifetime, when this thing's going to erupt. I'm pretty sure. Anybody over 50, you guys we're going to live out our lives. It's going to be nice, but we're going to have some shaking here and there. It's not going to explode. We're probably going to be long gone before it does. Or we could be. Okay? I got to take water there, man. Anyway. So, I don't mean to scare the crap out of you, but that's what's happening. I've been sitting here, and it's true, within the last 7 days, within the last week, I've been sitting here in Billings, Montana, and I've heard the house, I thought it was settling. I'd hear bumps and thumps and stuff like that, but, well, now I know 296 earthquakes have been happening under Yellowstone. So, but I think the activity is so far down that it's not really affecting so much. But then again, it rises if you look at the graphics of any type of volcano under Yellowstone. The activity rises, it shakes, it vibrates up to the surface, and of course Bozeman, Montana, is down the road a couple of hours away. So it let me tell you exactly how far away it is. We're not but an hour and a half or so from Yellowstone, where we live in Billings, Montana. And we're not that far away. We'd be gone in a heartbeat. Okay. We'd be gone in a complete, we'd forget about it, man. We're history, if it went off like that, so we are 2 hours and 13 minutes away from Bozeman. That's 140 miles. Michael Snyder said through his research that over 600 miles away, they would have 10 feet of ash. In other words, we need to get the hell out of the state. That's just the way it is. Because, you got that radius. If you look at the what I call the dead zones, where it's deadly after an eruption, you look at those zones, if you live within that, pretty much. Just get your affairs in order and, do what you need to do because, but you need to get out of the areas. And I'm trying to, not that I'm paranoid, but let's just be on the safe side, shall we? You know what I mean? So, a friend of mine moved from California, Tom Slick over at Radio Rock 92.6 The Blitz. Yeah, he moved from California. He's going to Georgia, so that's a good idea. Get the hell out, California's done anyway, So, folks, I want to go to break, man. Don't go away. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Hang out here on American Liberty Radio Network, and let me give you some upbeat, positive stuff when I get back, okay? You know what you want. You want the truth. You want the facts. Without all the BS. American Liberty Radio Network. AmericanLibertyRadio.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Distorted Reality. I am your host, Nick Tucker, and I welcome you to the broadcast.
Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker. DistortedReality.podbean.com and Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker on American Liberty Radio Network.
There's a show that's not afraid to ask questions no one else will ask. Not afraid to say
what no one else will say.
Friday nights at 7 p.m. Listen to Restricted Airspace with Tina Marie, where no topic is off limits. Conspiracy theories, paranormal activities, hoaxes, the unexplained. It's what we talk about. Question everything. Trust no one. Restricted Airspace with Tina Marie. Friday at 7 p.m. on the KCOR Digital Radio Network out of Las Vegas, Nevada.
Hey, folks, this is American Liberty Radio Network, AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. How y'all doing today on this 19th of June, 2017? You hanging out with me? I understand that. So that's pretty good. You're listening to American Liberty Radio Network right here on Spreaker.com. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, hey, you want to tell me to piss off? Email me at AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. NBC looking for Megyn Kelly exit plan. Alex Jones, Mike Cernovich, and Jack Posobiec talk about how the fake MSN is trying to kill the real media, the truth media. So there's a video there. I'm going to post that on American Liberty Radio podcast. When I drink coffee, man, I want to burp so much. It's just, God, man. Anywho. Outdoor clothing giant Patagonia pledges to lead resistance to Trump. CEO to leverage company as social justice warrior force. The CEO of outdoor clothing giant Patagonia is burnishing her anti-Republican bona fides again. This time saying she intends to pledge her entire company to the quote-unquote resistance of President Donald Trump. Patagonia CEO Rose Marcario, I don't know, recently attacked President Trump for his statements about rolling back President Obama's unusually aggressive campaign of confiscating millions of acres of state lands and claiming them for national monuments. In an effort to prevent citizens from retaking possession of their state lands, one of her immediate actions will be to sue the Trump administration for its efforts to scale back Obama's unprecedented land grab. It says read more, so I'm going to go to Breitbart.com where it's originally at. That was on Infowars.com. Quote, a president does not have the authority to rescind a national monument, unquote. Obama did it. Marcario said in an April 26 statement after Trump announced his national monuments order, an attempt to change the boundaries ignores the review process of culture and historical characteristics and the public input, unquote. Obama stole crap. He just wrote stuff, executive order, we'll cancel this, do it. And she's bitching about President Trump. In particular, The Trump administration is preparing to revisit Obama's order to create the Bears Ear National Monument. In April, Trump issued an executive order requiring the Department of Interior to review Obama's actions on national monuments, ordering Interior Secretary Ray Zinke to review Obama's policy in April. President Trump called Obama's move an egregious abuse of federal power. That's in quotes. Many state governments fully agree with Trump's assessment and were furious when Obama swooped in from Washington and stole away millions of acres of land from state control to create new national monuments and parks. By the way, folks, let me just tell you what that is all about. That's Agenda 2030 by the United Nations. Go look that up. United Nations 2030. United Nations Agenda 2030. Go look that up. It's exactly what they want to do. A poll of residents of Utah, for instance, showed that 60% opposed Obama's land grab, while only 33% supported it. Along with the possible lawsuit, Macario said Patagonia would use its profits to back pro-environmental candidates in states throughout the West. This is far from the last time the sportswear company pledged its profits to political matters. Last year, the California-based company spent over $1 million to get a get-out-of-the-vote campaign to defeat Donald Trump and the Republicans. But despite its acclaimed high-minded activism, Patagonia has a troubled history of its own, having been tied to human trafficking and child labor in its supply chain. Well, let's put that in there. I mean, it is what it is, folks. I don't know, and I'm going to say this. I'm just going to lay this out here. I'm going to go back to Infowars.com. I'm just going to lay this out here, folks. You're never going to get around the conflict that the far-left liberal loons, the democratic socialists, the social justice warriors, the likes of Soros and Brzezinski, you're never going to stop them from engaging in the conflict they want to have with you to tear down this country. If they're gone, you're going to have other people. And I am just literally at the end of my rope with these people. Okay, I'm just at the end of my rope with these people. These people absolutely, positively, these leftists, these people that, I'm going to call them what they are. They're Marxist. They're communists. They're democratic socialists. They're the people our military killed in Indonesia when we fought the enemy over there, okay? When you look at the very history of these, left-wing radicals that are now in the United States, you see these protests all over the place against President Donald Trump. These are left-wing radicals. They're being funded by George Soros. They're being funded by corporations that don't like the fact that things are now changing for the positive in the United States of America. So you're going to have to deal with it. And if you don't deal with it, well, hey, bite me, because I don't really care. You're gonna have to change your outlook on things, or else, you're not going to like what's going to happen if you become the target of these left-wing radicals. If you start, telling people, well, whatever it is, right? You start bashing Republicans, you start bashing what is right, you start bashing everything, and if all you want is a collapsed democracy, if all you want is Marxism and communism and all of that, then all I can say, and I've said it before, is pack your crap and get the hell out. You don't deserve to be in America if you want to change. If you come to this country and you want to change it to the crap hole that you left, you're dumb. Get the hell out. You're just stupid. Just get the hell out of the country. And it's just, I can rant on that for days. But I won't. I won't, because you guys already know a lot more probably than I do. And it's important, and let me go here. Let me change directions and go here with this, in this same flow of thought here. You guys understand exactly how things are. And there's probably, nothing that I can say that you guys don't already know. So I'm sure you guys literally can go out and research this stuff on your own and find out more than I have. And yes, I would encourage you to do that. Bottom line is, folks, if you don't do anything, you have everything to lose. Because the left-wing radical, faction of the Democratic Party who's out there with their operatives in media and in corporations and in your neighborhood, they're trying to indoctrinate you with their left-wing bullcrap. And if you don't stop them from doing that and hold them accountable and push them back beyond, back to where they came from, which, literally, metaphorically is the pits of hell, then you're going to lose everything. Because they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop one freaking bit. They're not. I want to go here. Paul Joseph Watson, Infowars.com, 19 June 2017. Right-wing terror attack exposes rampant left-wing hypocrisy. No hashtags, no vigils, no call for everyone to just unite and carry on as normal. The same leftists who do nothing but tweet hashtags, light candles, and attend vigils in the aftermath of Islamic terror attacks that have killed hundreds of people over the last 2 years are apoplectic with rage today after a right-wing terrorist killed one man outside of a mosque in Finsbury Park in London. Yeah, another car went through. They're going to ban cars in London. The terrorist drove a white van into a crowd of Muslims who were attending to a man who was already unwell. The culprit reportedly shouted, quote, "I want to kill Muslims," unquote, after the attack. He was subsequently dragged out of the vehicle and later arrested. And already, the already sick man died and around 10 people were injured. However, instead of responding to the attack with virtue signaling pop concerts and calls for everyone to just get on with life as normal, unite and love each other, as they do after every Islamic terror attack, leftists struck a noticeably different tone. Yeah, people like Charles Clymer, whose main concern after the Manchester massacre was, quote, Trump supporters exploiting this tragedy, unquote, wasting no time in exploiting the tragedy, suggesting that all white people bore responsibility for the actions of one crazed man. That's right. Blaming all Muslims for terrorism is racist and Islamophobic, but the left can collectively blame everyone it doesn't like, and that's just fine. Excuse me. Now, Tommy Robinson and Nigel Farage are on par with Islamic hate preachers who directly advocate terrorism, despite the fact that Farage and Robinson have denounced violence at every turn. The same people who said nothing should change after endless Islamic terror attacks are now calling for all kinds of new laws to censor criticism of him. If I can talk, let me say that again. Take two. The same people who said nothing should change after endless Islamic terror attacks are now calling for all kinds of new laws to censor criticism of Islam. Can you get that? The same people who said nothing should change are now calling for all kinds of new laws to censor criticism of Islam. They're calling for a mass censorship of all speech. Well, there was never any free speech in London and England anyway, so... Continuing, Islamic terrorists have killed 1,263 people in the past 23 days. Wrap your head around that, people. Islamic terrorists have killed 1,263 people in the last 23 days. You want to do the math on that? To equate the threat to right-wing terror with the mechanized industrial-level bloodshed carried out in the name of Islam is intellectually dishonest and crass. Political violence of all stripes, be it right-wing, left-wing, Islamic, should be denounced. Unfortunately, not everyone thinks so. The only institutionalized groups that have legitimized violence in pursuit of the political goals are the left and Islamicists. But aside from all that, Paul Joseph Watson says, I believe that's who is writing this article and wrote this article. Yes, Paul Joseph Watson continues and says, but aside from all this, Paul Joseph Watson says, I thought the acceptable non-racist response to terror attacks was to just pretend they're not happening and quote-unquote carry on exactly as before. Surely we just need to hold hands, sing Kumbaya, and not let hate divide us? Put that on American Liberty Radio Podcast on Facebook. Please like and share the page, American Liberty Radio Podcast on Facebook. It's incredible, folks. I cannot get over the fact that people want to destroy this country. I mean, I understand it, and I accept the fact that people want to do this, but I just can't. I can't get over the fact. I just can't get beyond that. I can't get beyond the fact that people want to destroy the United States of America. I can't. I cannot understand why there's people so, number one, narcissistic, and number two, psychopathic, that they want to destroy positivity. They want to destroy everything that everyone ever has so that they themselves can be the top dog in the country and enslave everyone else to do their bidding. Didn't we have that back in the 17 and 1800s called slavery? Isn't, what comes around goes around? 4 words, folks, that I want to say to you leftists out there, to you Bernie supporters out there, to you Hillary supporters out there. 4 words. Just hang on to your shorts, because I'm going to say these 4 words, and you're not going to like it. But I don't care, because this is what's going to happen. 4 words. In your face, directly in your whole narrative. Karma is a bitch. And don't think it's not going to happen. Hey, all you leftists and Bernie and Hillary supporters out there, let me tell you something. As soon as the corporate elites that are controlling the United States of America, that want to destroy the very fabric of peace, freedom, liberty, and security in this nation, when they're done destroying, doing what they're doing, and you've helped them do that, they're going to focus their attention on you. Now that you've served their purpose, you're done. You're done. Okay? You're freaking history. So you might as well just, switch teams now and go with the best and do what has to be done to secure peace, freedom, and liberty and security in this nation, or else you're going to be 6 foot under, because the left is there. Once they're done with you, once you've served their purpose, you're done. They don't want you no more. And I'll give you a prime example. Venezuela. You look at Venezuela right now. You look at the government of Venezuela. They're destroyed. They're just completely collapsed. Look at them. See what's happening. You look at any other third world country where the military or some fascist, communist, Marxist dictator took over, and you look at the very people that helped. Look at the very people that helped that person or that group get to the prominent positions in politics in those countries. They're nowhere. You don't hear from them. So, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I mean, it's just... Jihadists stormed tourist resort in Mali, killing 2 and taking hostages. Security forces battle Islamicists during latest Ramadan attack. That was, let me go and give you the date on that one. Today, 19th June 2017, from the Daily Mail. Security forces in Mali have killed at least 4 extremists after an attack that left 2 people dead at a spot popular with foreigners, the security minister said. Forces pursued and killed the 4th attacker, who had initially escaped, said Salif Traoré, I believe. Sorry, Salif. Sorry about that. He said the situation is now under control at Campment Kangaba, is that what it is? Camp. Well, yeah. Anyway, jihadis attacked a hotel resort on Sunday afternoon, yelling, what they yell, and taking hostages. So let me put that on American Liberty Radio podcast so you can go check that out, since I destroyed the guy's name. Sorry. And all of that. So anyway, that's on American Liberty Radio podcast. I may go into overdrive because, man, I am so fired up right now and kind of caffeinated. So after the break, I'll have more coffee and get into more stuff. Let me promote something, though. First of all, here in Billings, Montana, we have a theater. We have a couple of theaters, live theaters. We have the Billings Studio Theater, which is over at on the MSU, the Montana State University campus. So awesome, AJ is doing a great job over there. He runs the place. It's awesome shows over there. We've also got a place that I go to and I frequent a lot, is Nova Center for the Performing Arts. And they've got their 2017 and 18 season picked out, and they've got School of Rock coming up for the youth. So that's going to be cool. That's going to be awesome. So if you're in the Billings, Montana area, go check out Nova Center for the Performing Arts. If you have any questions, of course, and want to see more of what's going on over there at Nova, please go to novabillings.org. Check it out. Tell them I sent you. And tell them I'm promoting them, and they like it because, it helps. And we are a community. We do what we can in our community. There's outreaches all through the community from Nova, from Billings Studio Theater. There's no competition here because everybody's just working together to get the community together. I mean, so what better way to do it than go see a live show at a theater somewhere? I mean, wherever you're at in your community here in America, go check out your local establishments of theaters, such as, your live theaters that put on performances. I mean, support them. Do whatever you can. Volunteer, whatever, whatever it is you have time to do, go check it out. But if you have any questions or you want to see the what's going on in the 2017-2018 season at Nova Center for the Performing Arts, go to their website at novabillings.org. Check them out. Lots of stuff going on aside from that. There's a play reading workshop coming up on July 17th that I'm a part of. So, hey, if you're in the Billings area, come on by to Nova Center for the Performing Arts. Check it out. Ask questions. They got the answers. Go to novabillings.org. There's that. And I like those people over there. I also like Billings Studio Theater as well. I just don't do a whole lot over there. Matter of fact, haven't done anything over there yet except see a couple of shows, which they put on some fantastic shows. So go check out Billings Studio Theater as well. But a friend of mine left California. He packed up his studio and he's like moved to the opposite coast. That would be Tom Slick and Radio Rock 92.6 The Blitz. Him and Arabella Fox left California, moved out of California, sold their home, did everything they could to get out of that commie state, and they are gone. They're on their way to the other side of the country over into Georgia. That's where Tom Slick family lives, so he wants to, be with his family. So that's cool. That's awesome. But you need to help him out. You need to share what he's doing, and he's sharing with you what he's doing as well. You need to help him out. You need to support him. Go to Radio Rock 92.6 The Blitz on Facebook. Radio Rock 92. What is that? Radio Rock 92.6, the period there between the 2 and the 6. Radio Rock 92.6, The Blitz on Facebook. Tell him I sent you. Tell him you're in support of what he's doing. The radio show, The Morning Brew, will be back on the air as soon as they get settled in. So, yes, go to Radio Rock 92.6, The Blitz, the website. Check out more of what they're doing at 926theblitz.rocks. That's ROCKS. That's 926theblitz.rocks. Tell Mr. Tom Slick and Arabella Fox that I sent you. So there you go. And, of course, can't leave out my colleague in the freedom movement and independent media, and that would be a couple of people, actually. Mr. Nick Tucker over at Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker, distortedreality.podbean.com. I'll be on his show this coming Friday. So, check it out, man. Also, go check out Mr. John Christopher J. Man Collins over at The Truth War. The Truth War Network, thetruthwar.net. Go check him out as well. Folks, you know what? I'm going to take a break. I'll be back. I probably won't go that far into Overdrive, but I shall return. So don't go away. I shall return right after this. Broadcasting from FEMA Region 8, this is the American Liberty Radio Network. Sharing the truth one fact at a time, without all the bullshit. American Liberty Radio Network. AmericanLibertyRadio.com.
Hello, everybody. This is Brian Lang with Live Truth Radio and TV. You're listening to Wayne S. Pierce with American Liberty Radio.
There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate but what we make.
What's there to talk about? A lot. No subject is off limits. From politics to the paranormal, from entertainment to what is for dinner, there's more to everyday life than what we can imagine. Want to hear more? Listen to The Wayne S. Pierce Show on American Liberty Radio Network. You can also hear his show on the Wayne S. Pierce Show.weebly.com. That's the Wayne S. Pierce Show on American Liberty Radio Network. For more information, go to the Wayne S. Pierce Show.weebly.com. Smashing through the lies of the mainstream media, tearing down the walls of misinformation.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order.
Shattering the foundations of the new world order.
To bring China into the creation of a new world order.
The truth, the facts, no bullshit.
In this new world, such dangerous currents have swept along faster than our efforts to contain them. And that is why we cannot afford to be divided.
The American Liberty Radio Network. AmericanLibertyRadio.com.
In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex. The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist. We must never let the weight of this combination endanger our liberties or democratic processes.
For more information, go to AmericanLibertyRadio.com or email them at AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. Nova Center for the Performing Arts has picked its 2017 and 2018 productions. These productions will fit this year's theme of Around the World. The season will have 10 productions, including 4 main stage theater productions: Mousetrap, Quilters, Celtic Christmas, and The Complete History of America, Abridged. The season will include 4 youth shows: Madeline, Brunderbar, Gulliver's Travels, and The Schoolhouse Rock. The season will also include 2 operas: Festival of One-Act Operas and Pirates of Penzance. So come join the fun this season at Nova Center for the Performing Arts. For more information, go to their website at www.novabillings.org. Create your own podcast. Spreaker has it all. Set up your account and get ready to record podcast or host live radio shows from your computer or mobile device. Spreaker's wide range of tools covers every step of the podcasting process, from simple recording and broadcasting apps to analytics on your audience. You can upload your files or migrate content over using the RSS importer. Host your show today. For more information, go to Spreaker.com.
I hereby declare this to be an unlawful assembly. I order all those assembled to immediately disperse. You must leave the immediate vicinity. If you remain in this immediate vicinity, you will be in violation of the Crimes Code.
www.livetruthradio.com. The not politically correct radio broadcast. Oh, yeah. Come on over and join us to stand up, speak out, and get involved. The radio they don't want you to hear. Ha, ha, ha.
I felt a great disturbance in the force, as if millions of voices suddenly cried out in terror, were suddenly silenced.
got a problem in America, folks. This is American Liberty Radio Network. AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. This is the 19th of June, 2017. We got a problem. We got a huge problem. And this whole problem can go away immediately. Okay? Immediately. The problem is we have leftists that want to destroy the United States of America. And they're all over the place in the United States, and they're allowing terrorists to come into the country, and they're allowing all these other things to happen in our country, and guess what? They're blaming the other side for the problems that they are having in regards to them not being able to fulfill their goal of destroying the United States of America. You see how that works? The leftists have this goal, have this philosophy of divide and conquer. And that's what they want to do. And they're going to do it Saul Alinsky style. They're going to engage in Cloward and Piven strategies to overwhelm the system. They're going to do what they have to do. But so are we the people. Because we're not going to let the shadow of evil overtake this country. Since there's slivers of light all over the place of hope, of peace, of freedom, of liberty. We're going to bring security to this country, and we're going to round up all these people that are against the philosophies of freedom and liberty. And we're going to shove them off into an island somewhere out of the United States of America. And we're going to take this country back. And whether or not you like it and whether or not you think that's the right thing to do, go ask some of your relatives if you have writings of journal entries or diaries that they wrote. If your great-great-great-great-grandparents from the Civil War of the United States of America wrote anything down, you'll see that they understood the risk, but they had to do something. And truthfully, honestly, we the people right now, as of the 19th of June 2017, have to do something. And if we're not willing to, then we've lost. If we're not willing to get up in the face of these leftists, if we're not willing to take these moments that we have in our history and learn something from our past, we're never going to have a bright future. We're never going to have a future that we ourselves want. And that is peace, freedom, liberty, and security for the United States of America. And a country that is back on track with innovations and entrepreneurship. The bottom line is we got to do something. We've got to do something. Because they'll kick a man when he's down. The leftists in this country will, if you're on the ground, they're going to laugh at you. And they're going to kick you along the way. They don't care, okay? The Democratic Socialists, the social justice warriors, they don't care. Steve Scalise can't defend himself, but MSNBC is back to attacking him anyway. Quote, Steve Scalise has a history that we've all been forced to sort of ignore on race, unquote. They're going to attack him on made-up bullcrap. Let me go read that because he's still in the hospital. He's going to be there for a while. The Daily Caller, as of yesterday, the 18th of June, 2017, says, well, let me see who, okay, just the Daily Caller. Louisiana Representative Steve Scalise is still hospitalized in serious condition, but liberal MSNBC host Joy Ann Reid didn't let that stop her from portraying Scalise as an extremist just 3 days after an angry left-winger shot Scalise and tried to assassinate dozens of Republican congressmen in Alexandria, Virginia on Wednesday. Reid had NAACP board member Reverend William J. Barber II, a prominent liberal who spoke at the Democratic National Convention last July, on her show Saturday morning, and the two quickly set about attacking Scalise, who is physically unable to defend his record. I'm not even going to read what they say. I'm going to put that on American Liberty Radio Network, or on American Liberty Radio Podcasts, so you can read that on your own. It's there. I don't know. The Hill, the 18th of June, yesterday, 2017. Senate GOP shifts focus to Loretta Lynch, told FBI to refer to Clinton investigation as a quote-unquote matter. Senate Republicans are clamoring to hear from Loretta Lynch after former FBI Director James Comey raised concerns about her involvement in the Hillary Clinton email investigation. Republicans on the Senate Judiciary Committee are seizing on Comey's testimony earlier this month that he was concerned over the former Attorney General telling the FBI to refer to the Clinton investigation as a matter, which resembled the Clinton campaign line. The move could allow Republicans to attempt to pivot away from the investigation into Russia's election meddling, which top GOP lawmakers have signaled belongs to the Intelligence Committee, and focus on Lynch, who has long been a target of the Republicans. That's going on American Liberty Radio Podcast because it says read more. So, yeah, heavy sigh. Because the ignorance of the left is prominent. It's there. You can see it. You can hear it. You can feel it. It's there. It just, tears my mind to pieces. Okay? Because these people are so freaking ignorant, they cannot even stand the fact that they're ignorant, but they're going to pass it off and blame other people for it. NBC News, 18th July 2017. Trump attorney. The president is not under investigation. Quote, the president is not and has not been under investigation for obstruction. Unquote. An attorney for President Trump was adamant on Sunday that the president is not under investigation, despite the president's tweets this week referring to one as a witch hunt. Jay Sekulow, member of the president's legal team, says, "Let me be clear here," he told Meet the Press. The president is not and has not been under investigation for obstruction. On Friday morning, President Trump sent a tweet that seemed to confirm that he was under scrutiny, writing, quote, I am being investigated for firing the FBI director by the man who told me to fire the FBI director. Witch hunt, unquote. But Sekulow claimed the president wasn't referring to an actual investigation in the message, but instead a news report about one, which, of course, that's true. So it says read more, so I'm going to put that on American Liberty Radio Podcast. I said at the top of the hour, we got a problem, America. And people don't see it or won't or would prefer to ignore it. Let's just make it as honest as I can with the information available to me. The leftists don't really care. The social justice warriors don't care. The Democratic Socialists in Washington, D.C. don't care. The Republican fascists in Washington, D.C. don't care. They don't want to look at the truth and the facts. They don't care. So I'll just lay it right out there. There you go. I said it. They don't care at all. Let's go to Breitbart.com. Europe on the brink. Armed man rams police van on Paris's Champs-Élysées. Champs-Élysées. I'm not French. I don't know. Sorry if I butchered it. Oliver J.J. Lane is reporting this. Police operation underway after vehicle strikes police van on the Champs-Élysées, on that strip of road in Paris. French police have confirmed an incident in Paris Monday afternoon after a car rammed a police vehicle and reportedly exploded. The suspect, who was armed with a firearm, is reported to have likely died in the incident, and it was reported that police, quote, downed, unquote, the individual. There were no other injuries or fatalities to police or the public, a statement released through the Parisian police official Twitter account stated. The French bomb disposal units are on the scene and are examining the vehicle involved in the collision, and counter-terror police are leading the investigation. That's going on American Liberty Radio podcast. I sigh because this is what left-wing people do. They attack. They don't care about discussions. They don't care about anything else other than destroying everything that other people disagree with. In other words, if you don't agree with them, they're going to destroy you one way or another. That's just the way it is. Man bombs kindergarten in China, killing 8, wounding 65. Breitbart.com. Edwin Mora is reporting this. A 22-year-old man detonated an improvised explosive device, or homemade bomb, at a nursery in the eastern Chinese city of Zhuzhou, I think is what it is, killing 9, including the assailant, and injuring about 65 others. The news outlet notes that the incident is the latest in a spate of attacks mainly carried out by disgruntled workers targeting nurseries and other schools and killing and wounding scores of children. Yeah. So there you go. I mean, it hurts to see that because I know literally that should not happen, and parents should be, should really believe that wherever they take their children to go to school, that it's going to be safe. That's why I believe in every elementary, high school, junior high, middle school, all the faculty and teachers need to be armed. I believe in that. And I say that because of this. I grew up in Stockton, California, and over at a school in Stockton, California back in the 80s, some guy came into the schoolyard and began to shoot it up. If you go back in history, go to shooting at school in Stockton, California. There's been a couple of them, but this is back in the 80s. You'll find it. Yeah. So, Iran launches retaliatory strikes on Islamic State in Syria. Adel Nazarian writes this for the 19th of June 2017. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps launched 6 missiles into a region of eastern Syria on Sunday, a province that is home to Islamic State militants and civilians, in retaliation for the jihadi group's series of attacks on Tehran on June 7th, with which left 18 dead and dozens injured, according to Iran's semi-official Tasnim news agency. IRGC spokesman Brigadier General Ramazan Sharif said the IRGC's missile operation was, quote, only a tiny example of Iran's punitive power over the terrorists and enemies, unquote. He added, quote, regional and international sponsors of terrorists must understand the warning message of the missile operation, unquote. Okay. Yeah. So wrap your mind around that one, folks. I don't get it. I honestly don't. I don't see why. And please help me out here, okay? I don't see why people want to destroy something. It's positive, it's good, it's helping you, it's doing, but someone is trying to destroy it. Why is this? I'll tell you why it is. There's 3 stages of this that I'm going to just mention. I'm not going to get into it, but I'll mention them. Number 1, indoctrination. Your children, your young adult children that you are paying to go to university, they are being indoctrinated by those governmental indoctrination institutes to see things from the left. Don't scream all you want. I don't care. This is how it is. This is how it is. You can go to high school. I mean, parents are going to high schools and telling them, you're not going to teach my children about Islam and anything about that at all ever, because I'm pulling my kid out of this school if you do. And guess what? Many people have. They've gotten wind of the school, teaching certain things and allowing certain. So parents just go in there going, okay, I'm pulling the kid out and we're going to homeschool my kid. And I'm glad. I applaud those parents doing that. The school districts were not set up to teach. They were set up to indoctrinate. Charlotte Iserby, The Deliberate Dumbing Down of America. Go look her book up on Amazon. The Deliberate Dumbing Down of America. She was second in command in the Department of Education under Ronald Reagan. It's all about indoctrination. Has nothing to do about teaching. Has nothing to do about encouraging free thought. Has everything to do with indoctrination. Let me tell you this. Many schools across the United States are taking Common Core completely out of the whole system. They're doing that. It's confusing. It puts the child's mind. Here, let me tell you what it does. It tears down the mind so that the leftist philosophies of those indoctrinators, I like to call them that, the indoctrination, schools or whatever you want to call them, put all of their leftist, Marxist, communist, liberal agendas into their mind. Okay? That's what Common Core does. On one aspect of it. And then, to help it along, they give your child, and this is the second thing that I want to say, they drug your children at school without your permission. And then they'll claim, the nurses there at the school will claim that your child has ADD or ADHD. Guess what? It's all bullcrap. They want to drug your child to make sure that their mind is so wiped out from all of this information that you have taught them that now the indoctrination centers, the governmental indoctrination institutes, the schools that you send your children to, will then indoctrinate them and with their information, and that information will hold because they're now all mind numbed and everything else from all the drugs that they insist that you give them. And here's the third thing. The government is financing that through your taxes. Okay? Through your taxes. You're creating robots. You're assisting the government to dumb down your children so much that they're going to be indoctrinated with leftist philosophies. And you are condoning it and funding it through your state and local taxes. So tell me right now. Go ahead, tell me right now. Or you can drop it in the comment section on Spreaker.com. What are you going to do? What are you going to do about the governmental indoctrination institutes indoctrinating your children with left-wing globalist philosophies? What are you going to do? How does that play out in your reality? How does that help your family? How is that going to impact your family? How is that going to affect you? How's that going to work out for you? The elites in the governmental indoctrination institutes want to divide you from they want to divide your family up so that they can pretty much intellectually and metaphorically kidnap your children to do what they want. So how's that going to work out for you? And how is that working out for you? I mean, it's just something to think about. It's something to really pay attention to, because what are your children learning? Look at their books. By the way, the books are revised many times over to systematically and methodically change the mind of your child, and they're going to rewrite history. These revisionists, educational revisionists, they're going to rewrite history and take out all the good stuff and take out how, we fought to get away from England and get away from all that. How certain men decided to change history and fight for independence from a tyrannical government. Sound familiar, huh? So we're looking at not only the indoctrination of your children, but the indoctrination of adults as well through the mainstream propaganda media. Okay? Every day, these news outlets force feed you Marxist, socialist, Leninist, communist propaganda because they know it's a Saul Alinsky tactic, and it's the Cloward and Piven way of doing things. Edward Bernays was, many years ago, was the father of propaganda, and that's where it all started. Well, not all of it, but that's where some of it was enhanced and made much clearer and much more concise, but much more clandestine and secret. Many of your news organizations are infiltrated by CIA and military-industrial complex PSYOP operatives. You don't believe that? Go check it out. Interesting. I'm looking at the time here, and I've decided, hey, in about a minute, I'm going to get out of here and let you go on with your day, because I got stuff to do. So, folks, time has come for the end of another podcast. I want you all to know that I really appreciate the fact that you listen. I really, really do. Okay? Honestly, I really, really do appreciate it. So, if you support American Liberty Radio Network, thank you. If you want to support American Liberty Radio, thank you. Go to AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. Go to the sponsors page, drop $1 and become a patron and help me keep the lights on around here. American Liberty Radio Network. American Liberty Radio, sharing the truth one fact at a time without all the BS.